If you own a cannabis brand, smoke shop, or you sell through e-commerce, restricted products such as vapes, kratom, 7-ounce, mushrooms, stuff like that, I do understand the frustration, okay? Ads rejected, accounts restricted, or you're paying thousands of dollars to an agency to still get banned at the end of the month and having to start your marketing all over again. I've been there, okay? And at some point you start thinking, maybe Meta is against me. I cannot run ads. Let's get some referrals, stuff like that. And some people, they don't even make it until the end of the year and they shut down their businesses. That way of thinking, it's costing you thousands of dollars. I had this person that I spoke with a few months ago, and she told me that she needed to migrate from mushrooms to cannabis because she couldn't find a way to promote her product, and still she was struggling with the same thing. Now we're helping her, and the business is completely different. But let me tell you a little bit about myself, about how we make it, and why I'm telling you all this. It's because my name is Serge, right? And we've been helping over 1,800 businesses all across the world to run compliant and profitable ads since 2021. Smoke shops, cannabis, kratom, and even CBD e-commerces as well, and even sex toys companies and stuff like that. So in this video, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to show you how to run restricted ads, why you get restricted, right? And a 3-step compliant framework. So in that way, you're never going to get banned again. Let's take a look at this. Before I get into this, let me give you some context about why you should listen. So since 2021, we've worked with restricted brand owners across smoke shops, vape brands, cannabis, CBDs, and other kind of restricted e-commerce brands, okay? We've sold educational and informational resources on this topic, from ebooks up to one-on-one mentorships with our clients. Close to 3,000 people has gotten access to this information, okay? Why does it matter? Because everything that I'm about to show you right here in this video isn't just theory, right? This is the exact same system that comes from helping hundreds of real businesses in this space navigate all the restrictions along social media, all the stuff that you already experienced yourself, or maybe your marketing team, and we're going to solve that here today. For example, let me just show you one of our clients, right? This is topshares.com. You can even make your due diligence and go and search them. As you see right here, this screenshot is from February 2026. Right now, at the moment that I'm recording this video, it's March 18, so this is from last month. In the few 7 days, February 14 to the 20th, as you see, we spend about $2,500 on advertising, right, on ad spend, and we generate about $11,000 in sales. That means a return of the ad spend of 4.53. No, sorry, short, for every dollar that you're investing on marketing, you're getting about $4.5 in return. Those are the kind of results that Dopsharks was getting. This is a restricted niche. They're focusing on selling flour, vapes, nicotine, and stuff like that. So as you see, restricted niche, compliant ads, and those are real results. But let's get into this. So why most of the restricted brand owners and these restricted products, they get their ads banned, okay? So if you've run ads in this space, you already experienced one of these 3 things, right? Your ads, they're getting, or your accounts are getting rejected immediately. Your account, it get restricted, right? You lost your Instagram, you lost your followers, you lost all the stuff that you've been working for years on. Or you just hire an agency, they started running like generic strategies, and at the end it cost you thousands of dollars, and they got you 0 results because you had to start all over again, okay? What happens, right, is that once you get rejected, most of the companies, they just give up on ads directly, and they just have to go back to SEO, referrals, organic content, and instead of you keep paying agencies that they don't understand the restricted niches, these agencies, they're already running the same playbook they use for a regular e-commerce, right? Like how it does logically make sense for you to run a cannabis brand or vape shop or whatever your product is, to hire an e-commerce company that is helping e-commerce to sell, I don't know, makeup, food supply, like kitchen supplies and stuff like that. It doesn't make sense, right? Because they don't understand the compliancy. Now, what's the truth that they don't realize is that it's not like the ads, they don't work for all the restricted industry. The problem is that most of the people, they just try to run them like regular e-commerce brands, as I just said. So Meta algorithm, they don't care about your business, right? It cares about compliance. So the wrong setup, the wrong messaging, right? The wrong funnel, and you're gone, okay? And that's what we're going to solve in this video, so just stay here a little bit longer. This is what most of the businesses are missing, is that there are specific ways to structure your funnels, your ads, your messaging in restricted industries, and when you know them, this niche becomes a massive competitive advantage. You're going to have advantage over all your competitors because essentially they already failed running ads. They're running word of mouth on SEO, and that just doesn't work. It's limited, right? It hits a cap. Now, the moment that you figure out how compliant paid acquisition works, you own the market. It doesn't matter if you do wholesale, if you do e-commerce, if you have a physical shop, this framework is going to be the exact same thing. And this is what is we're going to be showing you right now. For example, look, this is for wholesale, right? One of our clients for wholesale, client acquisition in here, they're going to get more clients to buy their products. You can do B2C, for example, directly on their e-commerce, or you can have a physical shop as our client is Skin Dipped, and you're driving more like foot traffic to your company. And now let's talk about what you really want from this video. That is the 3-step compliance framework to launch your campaign. So it's account setup, advanced messaging, and then the launch. Everything starts with the first step, that is the account setup. And let me tell you that 90% of the businesses, they just fail at this point of the stage, right? Like they don't even launch in their first campaign. Why I'm saying this? First off, for those that don't know, Meta is the main company that owns Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Messenger, and Threads. Okay. Now, you just don't need like a Facebook page, an Instagram page, or something like that. What you need is a proper profile structure, okay? That you're sending signals to Meta that you are a legitimate operator. And everything starts with a 3-day warm-up process, okay? So you're going to create your account, right? You're going to launch your first campaigns. This is going to be slowly, not aggressively, with slow budget, because Meta is going to watch your behavior from the first one. So if you put like a really high budget and you launch hard immediately, they're going to flag you and they're going to restrict your account, and you're not going to be able to even run your first ads. So first off, prepare slowly and don't launch aggressively. That's the very first thing, okay? Now we're going to move to the step number 2, right? That is the ads messaging, right? And this is the most important step, because right here is where you learn what you can actually say and what you cannot say. There are 3 things that you really need to master. That is understanding the platform policies deeply, right? Know what words trigger restrictions. So in that way, you avoid using these words that are going to kill your account, okay? The third one is knowing what positioning is allowed, because you can talk about your product, right? But you need to frame it in the right way, okay? Here's where compliance becomes like a superpower, because once you know this rule better than everyone else, you can advertise freely, you know how to come back in case of restrictions, and your competitors, they won't be able to do it. You're going to own all the market, okay? Now, for example, let me show you right here. Those are some of the ads that we've been doing with our clients. They've been really profitable. We give them the list with do's, don'ts. Just shoot me a message if you have more questions about all this. Then after that, like you can do videos, you can do images, but you can ask us to actually give you a little bit more on guidance on this, because you need to be really, really, really careful with the way that you're promoting your product. So in that way, you don't raise any flags. Then from here, we move to the third step right here. That is the launch, okay? Essentially, with the launch, once the first and the second step are done, right? You launch, you track, you measure, okay? And here's where we're going to start talking about a few different terminologies that maybe some of you didn't heard yet. That is the CPA, the ROAS, cost per purchase. Those are the numbers that you're going to be tracking daily, okay? If you have any questions again about these numbers that we can explain you in detail, just to not make this video like too long. Now, why these numbers, or why they work, why do you need to start looking to these numbers? If because those are the measures that you're going to be looking at in order for you to scale your company. Just the whole goal in here is just not running ads for the sake of running it. The whole goal is that you're actually making money from this. So right here, right, the whole point from this training and from what we do is that we help companies to actually have their in-house scale system. You don't have to rely on agencies ever again. You take full ownership of your marketing, SOPs, training, all the systems. So essentially, you're not depending on agencies anymore. You're the main operator. Operator scales, companies and agencies, sorry, they don't. So those are the kind of numbers that you need to be looking at, okay? The amount of dollars that you're spending on ad spend, you need to make sure to track how many conversions are you getting from the ad spend, the return of the ad spending, that is the ad spending, that is the ROAS. What this number means that, for example, for every dollar that you're putting in, you're getting $3 in return, okay? And then the cost of result, what's actually costing you to bring every single client. These numbers, they work, and track them and understand them is what is going to help you to actually scale your company, okay? That's essentially the 3-step compliant framework. And look, if you run a cannabis brand, smoke shop, vape brand, or you're selling any kind of restricted e-commerce business, right? And you're not doing paid ads right now, you're literally leaving money on the table every single day, okay? And I'm telling you this because we have helped close to 3,000 people in this space, from ebooks up to high-scale mentorships. And this is for local businesses, e-commerce brand, and people that are serious about scaling with volume, okay, online. Now, what I have to offer you is that if you're ready to scale, if you have a product, you have the budget, you're not afraid on investing into your company, you're serious about making paid ads works for your restricted brand, what you're going to do is right here below in the description, you're going to have a link, right, to schedule a strategy call. That call, we're going to look into your account, your setup, your messaging. We're going to tell you exactly what needs to change without all the fluff, okay? Now, at the same time, if you're not there yet, if you're just still figuring things out, you don't want to invest into your business, or you just want to learn more, or you get gathering information or something like that before jumping into the call, that's completely fine. Just shoot me an Instagram DM, ask me the questions that you have. I'm going to tell you where you're at. We will send you the right resources and we can point you into the right direction, okay? Because the most important part is that you're fully aware what is all this about before we even have a conversation. Now, either way, just shoot me a message, okay? The link to book this meeting is going to be below in the description. In our Instagram page is Ads for Smokes, and I'll see you in the next video.